All right, folks, welcome back to Kings of Opinion, episode 97. Got Big Ern and the Wanderer here. Say hello, guys.
Hello.
All right, so we're less than a week away from baseball, but before we have that, let's talk about what happened this weekend with the Johnnies, right? I actually saw the championship game. It was pretty exciting.
I caught the second half of it. It's like impossible to get on the radio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you don't have Sirius XM, it's like impossible. It was like, so I got to catch the second half of the second half. But yeah, let's hoping for big things in the tourney because they got a nice team, man, and their defense is just what's been very constant with them, and it's just amazing. It's like they're down every game, and they're like even I don't know if it was the championship game or the game before that where they were down 15 points at one point in the first half. Their defense, just for whatever reason, in the second half, just turns it around, and I don't know if it's Patino yelling and screaming at them in the locker room.
Yeah.
But their defense in the second half, they just wear people down. It's crazy how much they wear the teams down. But hoping for big things, man.
Yeah, so I watched like 90% of the championship game. And you're right. Like, I was talking to Shady last week. We were hanging out for a little bit, and we were talking a lot of different sports because we only had like an hour. So it was just like back and forth nonsense of everything we could touch. And the way he describes it is that's kind of how they played most of the year.
Yeah.
And besides like right before the tourney actually happened, they were just then like in their own. And he was hoping that they would continue that. And I think the game you were alluding to where they were down 15 was the game before the championship game.
The Creighton game.
No, didn't they play Creighton in the championship?
Oh.
The one before that
Marquette game. The Marquette
Yeah, exactly. They were down by like 14 or 15 to them. And I didn't see the first half. I only saw the second half of that game. And you would have never known that they were down 15.
Yeah.
And then I watched almost the entire first half of the championship game against Creighton.
Where I think they only had 25 points.
Yeah, it was 28-25 at half, right?
And then they ended up scoring, 55 points the second half?
Yeah, and it was crazy because that was tied for their second lowest amount in, I think, the first half, if not any half. And once they got out of the gate in the second half, it's like it was just lockdown city. So whatever Patino yells or says to them at halftime, I don't know. Like, I'm sure it's got them all jacked up.
And
and
I mean,
everything.
they shot lights out the second half of that game. They shot like 63%.
Right.
But it's just what's so impressive is that, and like you said, what Shady has right is that it's been the whole year. Is that their second half comes out and their defense just wears these teams out. They get a ton of turnovers. Their defense is just incredible.
Yeah, I agree. And the other thing I was going to mention is that in both, I think I watched both of the second halves at least. I don't think I watched the first half of the Marquette game. But it's the second half. Obviously, they've been excelling, but like Ernie mentioned, the defense, they just get after it, and then it's just like a 10-0 run happens just like that.
Yeah.
And then they start to pull away.
I mean, obviously the competition is going to be a little different now come tournament time, but let's hope they can keep it up. And this goes to show you too, like everybody says, what kind of a difference a coach can make.
That is 100% true. And to me, yes, let's keep it going. To me, I want them to take what they've done all year and kind of change it for this March Madness tournament, because you might not be able to go down 15, which, to be fair, I don't think they're gonna do in that until maybe they get knocked out, if they get knocked out. But you can't do that to some of these teams early on because the title just changed, and unless you play lights out like they did in the tournament in the second half, it's still very hard to come back in these kind of games with down 14, 15 points.
Yeah.
So I'd like to for them to just keep it close, because if they keep it close in the first half, their defense will carry them to the second half. And like I said, we haven't watched them at all really much this year. And one of the things that Shady said, because I asked him about this, I'm like, what is your critique on their three-point shooting and their free throws?
They're just not, typically they're not good at it.
Right. That's what I thought. But what he's saying is like, that's just not their game. Like, you wouldn't ask a guy that steals 60 bases a year to go up there and try and hit home runs, right? What he's saying is they pound the basket. And that's ultimately their goal, is to do that and play defense.
Right.
Their one knock is their free throws, because you need to hit your free throws.
Correct.
But they don't, it's almost like they don't take a three unless they absolutely have to. So they're not, it's not that they're not good. They're not taking
Right,
the
and
amount of attempts.
That's the key with their defense wearing teams down in the second half, is now you're not having to rely on three-pointers because you're beating these guys up so much on the defensive side that when you come down with the ball, you're getting all these open looks. Like you saw in the championship game at the end, like it was close, and it was like, I think it was like 5-6 minutes left, and you're like, oh my God, what's going on? These guys, they're going to make a game of it. And then before you know it, these guys are just getting open look passes right underneath the basket and slamming it home because they're just beating these guys down and wearing them down. So you're not even having to rely on the three-pointer. But, I mean, the championship game, they were hitting threes, they were hitting
They're doing everything.
So it's just, the free throws is the killer, because that can
lose you a game.
yeah.
Especially in a close game in a tournament where it's one and done, that could lose you a game. So hopefully, like, they're practicing free throws all this week and getting ready. My thing is, they're like any other good team. You hope they don't get behind and then get discouraged and like lose sight of what they've been about all year. You just got to stay on top of your game and hope for the best to win.
And that's where, the coaching comes to play, because it's obvious that Patino doesn't allow them to do that.
Right, and rightfully so, because that'll burn any good team, and that's where you get these upsets, because the moment was too big for them. I don't want to see that. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that, they're going to go all the way and they're going to win the championship. I don't know if that's realistic to say or not, and I'm not just that big of a college basketball fan to do that. Maybe has something to do with it. But if they make it to the Final Four, which I think is a certain possibility, like, that's a very good year for the team. You know what I mean? Like,
they haven't made the tournament in how long?
Was it 25 years?
has it been that long?
I thought that's what I heard today, but
Jesus.
I'm not sure if that's.
Oh, that's long.
What, made the tournament?
I mean, yeah.
I don't think so.
I remember Shady talking about that they were snubbed last year for making the tournament.
Yeah, they should have.
So, I mean, I guess, I don't know if you count that
I
as
saw
a...
something funny today, because there's been, just before coming here, is that the big controversy this year is North Carolina, that apparently North Carolina made the tournament.
Yeah.
And apparently most people are thinking that they shouldn't have made the tournament, and only to find out that the head of the selection committee is the athletic director of North Carolina.
Correct, yeah.
And on top of it all, he gets a bonus if North Carolina makes the tournament.
Correct. And did you hear what his comments were after they brought that up to him?
No.
He basically told everybody, he's like, listen, when they were selecting, because I think North Carolina made it into the playing games, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
they didn't make the 64.
Right, it's 11 versus 11. Right?
Yeah. So he said when they were deciding those 4 teams, he excused himself out of the rooms to not be impartial in any way or whatever like that.
Okay,
yeah, I want to know what his bonus is. How about
but,
that?
I'm sure it's
Millions.
quite large.
Yeah.
But did I see before on the ticker correctly that St. John's game is at 9:45 p.m. on Thursday?
I hope not. I mean, that's late. But those games are like 2 hours long, right? It's 2:15.
That's huge. Jeez.
I know. I mean, that means you're not going to be seeing that game.
It's a matter of being able to stay awake.
Well, listen, at that point, you just hope for the best. You know, you watch like 10, 15 minutes of it and be like, all right, guys, I gave you all I had today. Go kick their ass.
Oh, it was the first Big East championship.
Yeah.
Oh, in
I was
25
going to
years?
say that because it was like 2000. I think 2000 was the last time they won the outright.
Well, that's still a big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you see what Patino said after the game? Did you see his little interview? They asked him what he was going to do, and he said, I'm going to drink
a fifth of Jameson. and then he tried to play it off like he was joking. He wasn't joking.
No, he was not joking. I love that response. I'm like, I hope this guy wins the championship just to give us a little bit of a soundbite for the championship win.
I'm not going to lie. I would have expected that, it would have been something like a McAllen 18 or something. Not
Yeah, he can afford it, right?
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
100%.
Not Jameson, but
Well, maybe he likes Jameson.
Yeah.
You know?
Whatever floats his boat, right?
But when he said Jameson, I think that's why I laughed.
9:45 p.m.
Wow, Jesus. Oh my God.
Late one, yeah.
Wow, St. John's is favored by 18 and a half.
Oh, I don't even know if I'll watch the first half of that game, to be honest with you. Jeez. And then when would they play again? Would that be a Saturday they play again?
Bang out on Friday because the boss told me he's not going to be there Friday.
I know. Me neither. I just got back to work. That's so bad.
What was your question? I'm sorry.
When would they play the next round of games? That would be Saturday and Sunday. So if they had the first day, they'd play Saturday then. So Saturday might be a nice afternoon game, I would think, or at the very least 6 o'clock. There's so many games. It's just hard to follow until
I know.
the next day. Like once people or like if
So
you're watching the game.
they're in the West region. So Saturday, West region. Oh, the times are not even set yet.
Right.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
to be determined with the times.
But so at least they play. At least we know they play on Saturday. You know what it is? It all depends if there's upsets and all that stuff, and because the better teams are going to get the better time slots.
Yeah.
Which is probably why they got the really, really late one, which is a little weird because that's a little too late for prime time. Like you'd think they get like the 7, 8 o'clock ish or something if they're easy at a time.
The first day, there's just so many games.
Yeah.
There's
The first 2 days, Thursday and Friday, there's
so much time
ton of
to
them. Ton.
get them in.
But yeah, we wish the Johnnies the best of luck. Hopefully they can keep it going and give us, a good week of fun before baseball starts. Because when would the championship be for that? Like the overall last game, is that the following weekend?
April 7th, I think it is.
Oh, so that wouldn't be till the
Championship
following week.
Monday is April 7th. I
Okay,
think.
so then that weekend would be the Final Four, unless it's the Final Four the week before that. That's crazy.
Yeah, Monday, April 7th is the final.
Well, since we're on basketball right now, did anyone happen to catch the Knicks game last night?
No.
No, but I did see some highlights at the gym. It looked like Towns had a good game.
She scored 15 points in a row, which is a franchise record.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they had a little bit of delay in that game due to a fan throwing up on the court.
No kidding.
Swear to God. Do you want to know who the fan is?
Sure.
Tracy Morgan.
Oh, I didn't hear, but I heard that he was taken to the hospital.
Yeah, he's fine now. It was just food poisoning, thank God. But they said, I didn't get to see the video because they said it was crazy. And they had to stop the game for literally a good amount of time.
Holy.
Yeah,
goodness.
and he was puking all over the place, like The Exorcist. I was.
Oh, I'm sure that's gonna be a big meme.
At some point it has to be they're gonna throw that somewhere. But he did send an update today that he was actually sent a picture of him still in the hospital. I think it was earlier this morning, and he was just giving an update that he said the doctor said he had food poisoning, and he gave a shout out to the Knicks and to the cleaning crew, and he's like he even had a joke. He was like, if the Knicks play like this and win, when I throw up, maybe I might have to throw up in the playoffs. So that was funny.
Better send that cleaning crew some pizzas.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope he does something. That'd be nice, or at least tickets to one of his stand-ups or something like that, front row maybe. Give him a shout out. But yeah, we're literally.
He got that Walmart money. He don't work no more.
No, you don't think he does any stand-up at all?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just.
Yeah, I think he still does
I mean,
some.
I haven't seen anything that's popped up.
You're right.
For that money he got from Walmart.
It's a good point. Is that from the car accident?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. That's definitely that.
Like supposedly he got a shit ton of money.
Yeah, I'm sure they make a lot of money. Speaking of that, you know the Target that's not far down the road for us in the Lacey Shopping Center.
Yeah.
Like that opened up what over the summer maybe you would say like last summer.
I think so.
Around it opened up,
give or take.
And you guys remember it used to be a Sears, and for forever it was empty.
Yeah.
I remember we were talking about this maybe months ago where there were a lot of stores in there that were empty.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know there's not one empty store in there now?
Not one.
I'm pretty sure not. I was just there not too long ago. I didn't. When I was driving by, I didn't see one empty store.
There's just a lot of turnover in that place because the rents are.
But like it was empty for a while. There was like 9 stores empty.
Yeah.
And it also made me think. Since you said Walmart, that's why I clicked in my head. Why didn't Walmart go into that spot?
Well, from my understanding, that for many years that was already decided it was going to be a Target. So I don't know if there was just issues with delays in getting it done and stuff, but I had heard about Target coming there many years
Oh,
ago.
really?
Yeah.
Because it didn't shock me that a Target landed there, because the closest one to us is like Westbury,
yeah.
right? I would think maybe.
There's a small one in Elmont where Home Depot is.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I forgot about that one. It's like that one's all right too. But there's also no Walmart around here either. That's also in Westbury, literally not too far from the Target.
And by Green Acres Mall.
Yeah, but that's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I would say same distance to Westbury to the Valley Stream for us, or whatever, the Green Acres Mall. But they need to throw a Walmart around here somewhere. They do, bro. They do. They need to throw a Walmart around here. I'm just saying. Anyway, I was in the Target finally for the first time.
I haven't been yet.
Bro, it's spotless.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's big. They took the whole space,
Humongous. Like
it's deceptively big in the basement.
Humongous. Like I had to go downstairs to get like plates and forks or whatever.
Yeah, I gotta go just to go, but I haven't even been in there once yet.
You really do, because I put it off for so long because I was like, that place is a madhouse.
It is.
And
the
I went
parking lot there is.
I want to say I got there around like 3:00. So right in the middle of the day, and it wasn't empty, but like you had plenty of roaming room. You know what I mean? Like, and I used the little cart and I bought more than I should. This is why I hate places like Target and Walmart, because you go in there looking for 2 things and you wind up coming out with 10. You know what I mean? And they had these crazy like Quest bars and Quest cookies and Quest Pop-Tarts. Yeah, you got to try the Pop-Tarts. They're phenomenal. And they're actually, I guess, somewhat healthier for you, obviously, as opposed to eating a real Pop-Tart. You know what I mean? They weren't that bad. You know what I mean? Anyway, I don't know. It just clicked in my head when you said Walmart, so I just went on this rant.
The Walmart rant.
Yeah.
Or Target.
Yeah, or both. It's pretty much both. Like, whatever. Yeah, so, all right, we got that out of the way. What's next? Oh, well, baseball. We're less than 10 days away from the start of the season, even though some people say the start of the season was this morning.
I was just going to say.
Right?
Did the season start already?
Well, if you ask me, I'm going to say no, because I'm not a Dodger or a Cub fan. If you ask someone from LA or Chicago, they're going to say yes. But to me, starting a week earlier in Japan, it doesn't count. Even though I did watch the majority of the game, it just, I don't know, it just seemed off for whatever reason. Like, I almost rather them do this, like, trip to Japan in, like, the middle of the season somehow. Like, maybe right before the All-Star break or right after the All-Star break, where, like, the 2 teams that are going to play these 2 silly, stupid games are right before after the All-Star break, and then give them 2 days off to come back and just go into the rest of the season.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The thing is like 2 days off is not going to be enough. That's why I think they're doing it 10 days before.
Right, just to get it over with.
You're not going tonight to Japan to play tomorrow or the next day. You need.
I get it, but that's why maybe do it at the All-Star break so that the guys besides the All-Stars are ahead of the
What
game.
do you do if you got guys that make the All-Star team? They're not going to go play. Those
Let me
games?
ask you this, okay? Perfect example is Ohtani, right? He played in Japan. You go back to Japan. He makes enough money, right? Figure it out. I don't care. I don't want to start the season 10 games weeks earlier.
First of all, the MLB is not going to allow Ohtani to not be at the All-Star game because he's got to go play in Japan.
Right, but he could do both. First off, it's not like they're flying coach guys. Like, you know what I mean?
No, but you got to remember the time zone difference, jet lag.
Right.
That's a big deal.
And these are guys that are on the road for the whole season, so I think that I'm just guessing. The idea is let's just get it out of the way before it starts.
It might be the case. I just think it's silly to do it at the beginning of the
Before
year.
the grind starts, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, but the grind's the whole year anyway. What's the difference? I get it, the time difference. I get whatever, that you need a couple extra days. You tell me you can't put it somewhere in the middle of the season, right around the All-Star break, as opposed to 10 days before. Like, honestly, is it really that big of a deal, too? 2 games in Japan? Like, maybe for Japan it is, so just put it in the beginning of the season, middle of the season. That's all I'm saying. This is, it gets you, like, warmed up a little bit, and you're like, okay. And we still got to wait 10 days.
For us, who cares? Like, if you didn't mention it, I would have totally not remembered. I had no idea that they played a game today until.
I didn't know it was 2 games.
Yeah, it's today and tomorrow, and I'm only assuming that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Because if I remember correctly, I feel like they did this a few years ago, and it was like San
Didn't they do
Diego
it last
and Seattle.
Yeah,
They did it last year too.
Yeah, I don't know who played last year.
But I remember, I think it was, I don't know if it was Japan, I guess it was Japan, or maybe it was Korea or something like that, and it was Seattle and San Diego, I believe.
Yeah, okay, so that
was a
might
couple of years ago, though.
Yeah, that might have been not last year, the year before.
Right.
They were in Korea, and then I guess the last 2 years, because they had Ohtani there last year. I remember the Dodgers started last year too, and that's the reason why I didn't start my pool a week earlier. I know a lot of people are starting it early, but I just don't like doing that because I think it's somewhat of a disadvantage for the other 28 teams. Only if they score a lot of runs. Like today, it doesn't matter. They scored 4 and 1. Like everyone could do that on next Thursday.
It's actually funny that you say that because my friend, he got, I think it was the 13 in that series. You know,
The one in Korea, right?
He had Seattle. And
Yeah, I actually remember that because those 2 games were high-scoring games, which is why last year I did the same thing, and JoJo from, I guess, Moonlight now, formerly of the Brew House, did the same thing as me last year, but then he went back he started his pool today because Pole has a sanitation pool, and he was starting it today, so JoJo just went that route, which is fine, but to me it's like, not everyone has a chance to win today. If something would have happened, like you said, you get a 13, someone already made, X amount of dollars, and 28 teams didn't even play. So, there's 28 people that didn't have a chance to get anything.
Yeah.
So that's why.
So let me ask you a question. What happens if opening day,
Uh-huh.
right, you're starting yours on opening day, and 2 teams score 13 runs?
They split it.
Oh, okay, so it's not a matter of like which game ended first.
No, because baseball's weird like that.
Because then that would make that argument kind of valid, right? Because if it's whichever team scored 13 runs first is the one that wins. So whether it happens today or 10 days from now, they did it first.
Correct.
But if you're saying they split it, then that's even more to your way of doing it. Right?
Correct. Yeah, and at least like.
Because now you're creating content just for 2 teams essentially.
Right.
Correct. And I'm no forecaster or meteorologist or anything like that, but everyone plays next Thursday. It's opening day for everybody in baseball. If there's a rainout, so be it. That's not on me, but at least everyone's scheduled to play on that day. Everyone has a chance to score that 13 on day 1.
Right.
And I want to say Scott Shields actually hit it in game 1 last year in one of the pools.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is
Including these two teams. Who's playing over there? The Dodgers and who?
Cubs.
Okay. They're
Yeah.
playing on Thursday too? Over
Yeah.
there?
Yep. Everyone's playing on Thursday. So that's
So even more of a reason why they're probably doing it like this now too, so that they're all playing on opening day. That's why the 10 days. Just saying.
great. Got it. Thanks. Moving along. I actually, so a little bit of spring training news until I guess next week, where we have our opening, rosters all figured out by then, and we'll probably be 2 days away from, excitement opening day.
Still healthy. And
Right,
not injured.
exactly. Who's healthy, who's injured. Paul Goldschmidt was scratched from the game yesterday for, a sore back.
Oh,
and I'm
goodness.
like, we basically traded one first baseman with a bad back for another first baseman with a bad back. And I'm like, this is terrible. But that's really, knock on wood, the only injury news that I have
This week.
as of today. You know what I mean?
Speaking of first baseman, so did Rizzo retire or?
No, he's just not signed.
Okay.
Speaking who also isn't signed, I don't know if you heard this on your way home from work, because it was right around the time where
Oh no.
we're almost crossing paths. Alex Verdugo hasn't even gotten an offer for a contract.
Jesus.
Yeah. Like, what did he do to piss off baseball?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's just weird. He's 28 going on 29. I know he didn't have the best year last year, but he's still a very serviceable baseball player,
Strange.
Very strange. And, if no one's offering... All right, let's put it like this, Wander.
Yeah.
You're a baseball player. You too, Ernie. And, you had a down year last year. You're 28, 29. So get in the mindset you're a younger man by a year or two. I know you're a very young man. And, no one's offered you a contract. And now Team A comes along and just says, I'll give you a 1-year deal for $4 million. Are you taking it, or are you waiting for somebody else to make an offer at this late in the game?
I'm taking it.
Yeah, you would think. I mean, I'm probably thinking that he's had to, especially as big as he is into his Mexican culture, I'm assuming he's had to have some decent offers to go play in Mexico.
The way they described
maybe
it, nothing.
he's keeping that on the back burner, that's saying, hey, if I don't get anything here, then I'll consider that. But yeah, that's shocking. The Yankees can't just find a spot for him.
They actually need outfielders, dude. You know what I mean? You got Dominguez over there that looks terrible in left field. It would solve your DH role, even if you played Dominguez because he's a switch hitter and DH. You're not. I know. Look, there's a lot of guys that are killing it in spring training. Ben Rice being one of them, and that's kind of their plan. They want to use him as a DH.
And I'm guessing, what's his name? The guy I couldn't even believe you guys said last week was on the team. Dominic Davis? What's his name?
Smith.
Dominic Smith.
Yeah, he's another one.
Isn't he hitting the cover
Yeah.
off the ball this?
Yeah, he's hitting well too.
So I'm assuming he's going to be the DH.
It's maybe that's why they won't go after Verdugo.
Right.
But can you really rely on just those two guys going to be even if you're platoon them at DH? Because they're both lefties. Ben Rice and Dominic Smith are lefties. So you're not even platooning them at DH at this point.
That's
Because
the other thing. Isn't Verdugo a switch hitter? Or is he strict?
no, he's another lefty.
He's just strict lefty?
Yeah.
Why did I think he was a switch hitter?
I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't remember seeing him hit righty. But you need a defensive left fielder, especially if you say you're not going to put Grissom in left, you're not going to put Cody Bellinger in left, so you're just going to leave this kid just to die out there. I don't know if that's a guy. We've done this before in years past, and it's hurting people. It's killed people's career. And if he's the number one prospect pretty much in all of baseball right now, don't you want him to succeed? I'd rather just slide him into DH.
Yeah.
And go from there. But yeah, I don't know what they're doing. I want to almost bring up Trevor Bauer too. He's out there like hitting up like his Instagram.
Well, that we know is definitely people are just afraid to bring him on, which is kind of bull crap, right? Because I believe he was
cleared
of everything. And
How many years ago was that?
Oh man,
he was cleared like I want to say now probably going on, this is the third season, because the last 2 seasons I feel like you've been seeing like, why isn't anybody giving him a shot? Why isn't anybody giving him a shot?
And I want to say that stuff happened around COVID, whether it be 2020
Oh
or
yeah,
21.
that should happen years ago.
Yeah. So like you're going on a long time now where this guy, you know, it's a shame that he's a younger guy and he's losing all the prime of his career not playing baseball. But what are you gonna Pete Rose this guy like the whole time? Like, especially it'd be one thing if he was convicted and maybe there's a civil suit that we don't know about that's going on. Maybe that's why no one wants to touch him. Like I'm not sure of that, so I won't speak that. I don't get it. I really don't. And the Yankees' opening day starter next week is Carlos Rodon. He was slated as our number 4 pitcher.
Things have changed.
Yeah. I mean, I get why they're not bringing Max Fried to start the game, because he's not that he's not ready, but it wouldn't be his spot in the rotation. So, you know, he's going to start game 2, which is on Saturday.
And then they started the season at home? Or?
Yeah, they're home. Thursday, 3:00. The game will be on. So.
Not this Thursday, next Thursday.
Correct, next Thursday. The 27th at 3:00, it's at Yankee Stadium. So, you know, Rodon will be pitching that game, which is crazy to me right now. But listen, you got no Garrett Cole, you got no Luis Heel for a while. I can't understand why a lat strain would put you off for that long. Man, it's crazy to me. Yeah, that's all I got. I have no injury news for the Mets. I haven't seen anything for them. So I think that's good. That's good for you right now. You just want everyone to be healthy. You want to, you know, keep what they're doing and keep it moving. Spring training to me, I never really worry about much. Like, I don't care about the wins and losses and all that other stupid stuff because, you know, it's just spring training. Everyone needs to just get ramped up and keep it going, and that's that. Yeah, I'm just excited to talk about the season next week. I got a couple things I want to research, and we're gonna come out. I'm gonna come out with some predictions. I think next week for like all the divisions, and maybe I'll even throw out a couple playoff scenarios or my dark horses. I don't really know yet what I'm gonna do with that, but I'll definitely get some of my math going, my math skills and statistics, and see who's gonna be at the top of the division at the end of the year.
All right.
Yeah, we'll see. I did want to touch. You've had been watching what's been going on in golf recently, right? Or you're not paying attention?
I haven't. I saw that this past weekend they went to a playoff on Monday, and Rory won.
I saw that. Yeah. I haven't watched much of golf because like it's still kind of like winter time for me.
Yeah.
Like I feel like once April comes, like, you know, depending on certain circumstances with my vacation or whatever is going to be happening with work, like I feel like I'm going to be watching a lot of TV. So the golf is going to be pretty much on the TV a lot. But it's weird. It made me think of it today, like, because last week we had a couple of those nice warm days and then like middle of the afternoon. And today I wake up and it was like 30 degrees. It was so freaking cold.
It was cold.
It was cold.
Freezing.
Windy.
Freezing, yeah. And I'm like, damn, we're not going to get, like, remember last year, we were pretty much already golfing already. And I was like, when are we going to be able to golf? And then I come out of work, and it's freaking 50-something degrees. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Yeah. And I'm driving past the Clearview golf course, and all I see is people walking and driving around on the golf course. I'm like, these mother effers, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, you have to golf right now in the afternoon when you're like around where we live right now in New York, but It's getting close. Aren't you getting a little itchy? A little itchy?
Yeah.
Like they're gonna take the golf clubs down
I
soon.
want to see. I'm curious to see what pricing looks like, because I think I mentioned it last week, but my son said like the prices in California are like all of a sudden once daylight savings hit, they jacked up all the prices. So I'm just curious what they're looking like around here this year.
I can only imagine they're still just gonna go up, right?
Yeah.
Like around here, we get hammered with
Yeah,
the golf price.
that's the only thing. It's like, how far are we from the $100 rounds at Douglaston and Casino,
I know.
But although somebody did send a message, did somebody send a message that the carts are now going to be $20 for the cart instead of $20 a person?
Oh, I don't know. I might have missed that.
I don't know why I felt like I saw that.
Well, let's hope that's the case. Hopefully save a little bit more. But if they do that, that means
They're going to just jack up the price of the rounds.
correct. That means it's going up at least $10 because that's how they're gonna get the cart fee.
Right.
$10 a man.
Right.
Boom, right there.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Yeah, might as well.
See what
Any
NYC is.
any NFL news? I mean, it's so busy with the free agency. I can't even keep up with it.
Still nothing with your boy Aaron Rodgers, right?
No, he's on vacation somewhere, on some beach. I saw a picture of him on the beach somewhere, so he's living life.
He should just stay there.
He probably should, but the way he's holding teams hostages right now, like why do that? I don't get it. Like the Vikings are waiting to hear back from him. The Steelers are waiting to hear back from him. Like
I better keep waiting.
yeah, and like especially if I was the Steelers, because maybe like Minnesota is like itchy to like win, and maybe the Steelers are too. But the Steelers got a great head coach. They're never under 500. Like they just won 10 or 11 games with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Like you can't tell me you can't pick up like a Jameis Winston or some rookie quarterback from college and win 10 games with the defense that they have. And I know they just got DK Metcalf too. So like you got wide receivers. They're probably going to, through the draft, they're probably going to get a nice running back because Najee Harris left. So
where did he go?
He went to the Chargers.
Freaking 1 year deal with the Chargers. Like, what are the Cowboys doing? I don't understand. You couldn't give that guy 2 years? Fucking pissing me off.
To be fair, I don't think you want Najee Harris. The only reason why I think he went to the Chargers is because his old coach is there.
Yep.
He's not good. He's not good. He's not good.
About that.
I don't think he's good.
He's better than anything we got.
You had Rico, Rico Dowdle?
He's gone.
I know, but you could have just re-signed him. I'll tell you right now, I'd rather re-sign him than give Najee Harris any money. He's a bum, bro. His stats since he's come out have declined every single year. Do you want someone that rushes the ball for more than 2.5 yards?
Dude, I don't even think Douglaston is open yet.
Really?
Oh, no.
That makes no sense. Oh.
No, I put in Sunday. They came up. Like today, nothing came up. So
But it's the day's over already, dude. It's 5:30. Who's gonna golf at 5:30?
That's true. So I want to see what Sunday.
What's the prices? What do we got? While you're doing that, oh, you got it?
$67.
For what time? All day?
Basically all day. Yeah.
That's pretty much what they were last year.
$67 plus 20 plus $5 fee for booking. So that's 67, right? 67 plus 20 for the card. $87.
Yeah, it's pretty much what we paid on the weekends over there. It was like $84 or something like that.
Oh man.
Yeah, so it went up a couple bucks. At this point, if you're playing golf for $84, you're gonna pay for $87.
And then at 2 o'clock it goes down to 55.
Okay, that's about normal too right now. That's with the $5. It's 55.
Yeah.
So that's 175.
303 goes down to 41.
I'd play 303 and try and run through that thing. Bang, bang, bang. That's it. I'll take a chance. If I can get 15 holes in, I'm happy. For $41, I'm happy. We're gonna have to go to Van Cortlandt then during the week sometimes. Like we're gonna have to like leave work early, and like try and be there for like a tea time at 2, and just pay the $30 and just keep it moving. You know.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I finally got to the movie you've been wanting me to see. It's on Netflix. I saw it over the weekend. Kraven the Hunter.
Oh yeah. It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix because I happened to just go on Netflix.
And so, what'd you think?
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Wasn't bad. Yeah. I mean, they did the same thing that they did with Venom. Like he was a hero in this movie.
Okay.
So if you could get past that, it was a good movie. You know, what I liked is they had some characters that I didn't even know were like characters in Marvel, like the Foreigner guy, the guy that like basically like counts down to 3, and then he just like, I guess phases or like disappears,
Yeah.
and then comes back and kills you or whatever. He's apparently in the comics, but I've never heard of the guy. The girl I
His
did.
name is The Foreigner?
He's called the Foreigner or Foreigner or whatever.
And you
like
checked it out. He is legit.
not officially checked it out. I was talking to my dad about it because he actually was watching it the other day, and he's like, "Yeah, I vaguely remember the Foreigner, but like I didn't read any of this stuff or whatever it was, or he wasn't in there." And then that's where I brought up Calypto, which is the female. She's definitely a character because I remember seeing her, but I don't know if she was different or not. But what I did like about it is, I don't know a lot about Kraven's origin. Like, you just know he's the hunter. And
I just remember him showing up on Spider-Man.
Exactly.
The cartoon.
Exactly. And he was just, this guy from, like, wherever, maybe it could be Africa or any of these
Somewhere
hunting
tropical.
spots. Yeah, any of these, like, hunting spots, right? And he was just always, he was a villain of Spider-Man. But then I actually Googled his origin story, and when they're telling his origin story in Kraven, it's legit from the comics. Like, the lion's blood into the body, the serum, the whole 9. So I was like, oh, that's cool. You know what I mean? And the Rhino was in there. I think you'd like the Rhino's look. I think you'd like it. Yeah, I kind of did. I was like, oh, it's better than, remember the Amazing Spider-Man?
Yeah, they kind of...
It's night and day, let me tell you that right now. And then,
is there going to be another one?
absolutely not. No, it bombed. So it's over.
It did?
It bombed in the movie theaters. It was bad. It was terrible. But it was, going into it knowing that it was going to be bad, and I was bored on Saturday. I watched it, and it was entertaining. It was, I think.
I think I've seen a lot worse.
Agreed, 100%. And some of the worst that we've seen has been actually from the real Marvel Studios. So I think what it is everyone's tired of Sony just putting out like bad movies and just doing whatever they want with the movie and not trying to be accurate with stuff that they didn't even give it a chance. Because I almost didn't give it a chance. And then I saw it, I was like, oh, it was entertaining. It was 2 hours. The movie was 2 hours long. It was entertaining, It wasn't too long. Could have been a little shorter, probably.
I think he's done a bunch of good movies. The guy that played the father, I like him.
Russell Crowe? That was Russell Crowe.
Oh, right. I like him, but also one of the other guys I'm thinking of that I like that's been in some stuff that I've seen. But right, you're right. Russell Crowe was in that, and he was good in it.
Yeah, he was good. It wasn't bad. He was fine. Had the Russian accent, everything. So that was all good. Like, I didn't mind him at all. He played like a true dirtbag father, which was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kraven was good.
The acting was much better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Well, the guy that plays Kraven isn't a bad actor. He's been in a bunch of movies. He was Quicksilver in Avengers: Age of Ultron. That's the same dude. He was in like one of the Godzilla movies. I forget which one it was. But he was in that. I don't remember which one it was. But he's in a bunch of stuff. He's in some military movies too. He's a good actor. I don't mind him. Savages. He was in Savages too. Have you ever seen that movie? That's a good movie. That's crazy. But yeah, I saw that. I tried watching the other Netflix movie, Electric State with Chris Pratt.
Oh, that's the new one.
It's the new one. It's like their number 1 on their list right now because it just bumped off Kraven like over the weekend. I didn't get through the whole thing because it was getting late, so I shut it off.
Oh, Craven was up there too.
Yeah, it was number 1, and then Electric State was number 2, and then over the weekend they just flopped. So that's why I watched Craven first, because it was number 1.
What's this Electric State about?
It's about like like the Earth is like sharing it with robots. Like that, it has the story has a lot to do with robots, but the robots are evil, and the humans are trying to like battle the robots, and their programming will not, like, you can't. It's almost like a mix of like the Terminator, but they're just not freaky like looking robots. Like it could be one of the robots was Mr. Peanut, but he was like happens to be a good robot.
Oh.
But like a lot of the other robots are bad, and these people are trying to, like, I saw it halfway through and I stopped, so I don't have a complete thing. But it's got some funny parts in it. Chris Pratt's always funny. The girl from Stranger Things is in it. Mila Bobby Brown, right? Is that her name?
Oh, right. It's them. Those are the stars. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, it obviously wasn't that interesting, or else you would have watched the whole thing.
right. Well, like I said, it was late at night.
Oh.
So
okay.
like, it was almost bedtime, and I'm like, I'm not just gonna let this play. Like, I'll finish it another day. So maybe I could talk more about that next week. Plus, I'm also still juggling Teen Wolf, which is driving me nuts.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's driving me nuts.
Commitment,
It's so.
But you're not stopping.
I can't, because it's not my nature to get that far in and then just be like, you know what? Don't want to watch it anymore.
But if it was that bad and you weren't enjoying it, you would have done that.
There's not many things that I've done that to. Let's put it
Really?
that way. Yeah,
All
like
right, all right.
I'm not that type of person. Like if I'm watching something, I gotta stick it out at least for the rest of it. Like I can't just cut it off in the middle of the season. And be like, I don't care what happens with this thing. But it's driving me nuts because there's so many. This poor kid, I forget Scott, man. In season 5, he's getting hung out to dry, man. Like I feel bad for this kid. Like, he's losing his friends. People are dying. He's got to fight, like, 8 different people. Meanwhile, his mentor that he always fought with in, like, the first 4 seasons, nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Like, it's like he's on vacation.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm
He's
waiting.
doing Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. And he's like smoking ayahuasca and, like, sitting on a dark toilet bowl in the middle of a room for days at a time, And I feel bad for this kid. And he's like, it's like one bad thing after another, and like I'm like halfway through the 5th season, or like an episode past it. I think I'm on episode 11 or 12. So there's like 8 more episodes left, and it's just starting to get like really crazy. So hopefully I can finish this season by this week, because once baseball comes around, that's 2 hours right there that I'm not watching anything but the Yankees unless they're terrible. You know what I mean? And even then, I'll still watch it if it's a close game. If they're getting blown out, I'll shut it down.
If not for anything else, at least poor Scott did good in the female department.
Yeah, 100%. Him and Styles. Styles rebounded nicely because he was always after that girl Lydia,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden he found that other chick, and he's like smooth sailing after that. But yeah, that's all I got for that stuff. You guys, I don't know what you guys have been watching. That's all I have for the week.
The only thing that I have been watching a little bit of, and I know you guys keep mentioning it, and then it kept popping up on my screen, Yellow Jackets.
Yeah.
And I thought, I could have sworn I had watched that like a year ago or so when we were talking about it, but apparently I never did, because from episode 1 of season 1, I never saw it or remembered it. So that's pretty disturbing shit.
The first season is good. I like the first season.
Yeah.
I liked the first 2 seasons, even though the second season was
I didn't.
a little bit more ridiculous.
I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, it got a little crazy, which is...
It's back now, though, right?
Yeah, it's a 3rd season, so I'm wondering, like...
Obviously, people like it. I mean...
Yeah, but it's been so long. I think it's been a couple of years since...
Oh, really?
I think so. I want to say it's been... Because I haven't watched that in, like, I want to say 2 years, and I binge watched it. So it's been a while. But yeah, how far are you into that right now?
First season.
Couple episodes in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the first season is the better season for sure.
Yeah.
What do you got? Anything, Wonder?
I've just been watching the new season of White Lotus.
Okay.
I think there's like 5 episodes out. I've seen the first 4. It's good. You know, I never watched the first season. I should probably do that at some point. But I'm enjoying it. I like it. I think it's, you know, it's a cool concept, and you know, they're in like Thailand or
Yeah,
whatever, so
this season
it's
Thailand.
a nice place. So yeah, I'm digging it so far.
Okay, and since we've talked last week, where are you on the Daredevil series?
Oh,
Come on, buddy.
Unfortunately, I got kicked off my friend's Disney Plus account deep into season 2. So I'm gonna hopefully have my other friend's Plex account, so hopefully I can continue.
Oh, is that
watching
what you
on
were
there.
talking about before?
Yeah.
It kicked you off, or he kicked you off?
No, I guess Disney's cracking down where it's like you can only use it in like
Well,
one
that's-
household. Or
And
whatever.
meanwhile, they just keep raising the price of that
Oh yeah,
shit.
of course.
Oh, it's the worst.
Everything's streaming. Yeah.
It's,
It consistently goes up like every few months.
yeah, at least. I was going to say, like, I feel like every 6 months they send you an email. Netflix went from $18 to $23 to
Yeah.
$27. Soon it's going to be just like having cable. Like, you know, at one point I'm just going to be like, you know what, it's not worth
And
it.
I don't even use it anymore, but my kids use it. So, I mean, maybe that's why they haven't gotten kicked off, because I never use it here, and they're the only ones using it there. But I wish they'd get kicked off so I can cancel it. Shit.
Yeah, and Netflix is funny too because they'll kick you off, but then they'll offer you like a discounted rate for someone else to have it in another spot, and it's like it's not that bad, but like it adds to the overall value. Everyone's gonna do that. Everyone. They all started off at like besides Netflix.
More paywalls is better for them.
Yeah, it was like $5.99. Everyone was $5.99 except for
Remember when
Disney.
they used to send you. Remember when it was just discs?
Yeah, that's
He
what.
just stopped doing that like 6 months ago.
Yeah,
He
they
was
cut me
Wait,
off.
it was still a real
They
thing?
cut me off.
He was the last, I think the last one. They're going to make a documentary of
I
it.
have the movie right down there. They said keep it. We're
Just
done.
Like, just
We're
like
not doing that.
Blockbuster.
We're even, Steven. They literally sent me an email, and I called them. I'm like,
I respect you trying to keep physical media alive.
yeah, man. I was paying for that because that's how Netflix wrote me in the beginning of this whole damn thing, probably like 20 years ago. They're like, oh, we'll give you streaming and 1 DVD a month for $9.99. I'm like, this is great. And I'm like, how many DVDs do I get? They're like, as many as you want. And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, if you watch it in a day and get it back to us in a day, we'll send it to you again. So I was trying to. That's how I got into more movies. I just started.
Yeah.
I'd watch it as soon as I got it, and the next
Right,
morning
the
it's
mail,
out in the mail.
In the mail. It
And
was
then a
great.
day later, it
was-
came back.
Back then, it was great.
Oh, I was raping them. I was getting like 10 movies a month easy. And I didn't even care if I saw them earlier. Like, you know what? I got to look through this list, but for right now, I'll just take this one. I always had a queue for the Netflix DVD, 25 movies long. I never had anything, and I would, if it said, it used to say, I don't know if you remember, long wait, short wait,
Right.
not available,
Right.
and I would toggle it, and I would like, give me the one with the short wait up here,
Oh,
the
really?
one with the longer wait down here, right in the 10 spot, because by the time I get there, it'll be ready to go. Dude, it was like magic. It was magic. And you're right, it was like a year ago they cut me off of it. It was like legit. And I called them too, and I was like, "What's going on?" I'm like,
No more DVDs.
I'm like, I paid $9.99. Now what are you doing? Oh, you're gonna get a credit back and this. Meanwhile, probably within that year, Netflix went up like 4 or 5 times, and like
I know.
they're just raping me down. I'm getting less and less and less. The minute Netflix goes to commercials for me, like ads, I'm dropping them because they're the most expensive one out there right now. The other ones I could sort of deal with, like the Hulus of the world or even the Primes, because the Prime you pay for other things, so it's all accumulated in.
Yeah.
But once Netflix does it, I'm done.
Yeah,
Deletion.
They're all out of control.
Deletion. It's almost like paying the $250 a month for
Yeah,
cable at this
yeah.
point, which is crazy. But anyway, we're getting off topic real quick.
Yeah.
Daredevil, you're deep into season 2. Do
Yeah.
you know what episode? Like 8, 9,
well,
7,
it's,
6?
It's like, can we do spoilers or no?
I mean, bro, it was 10 years ago. If they didn't watch it by now, it sucks for them. Spoil it away, bro.
It's like the Punisher was getting framed for
Oh, yeah.
killing the DA. Was it the DA? You know, someone high up.
Yep.
and yeah. So and the scene when they tried to kill him in prison was incredible.
Yeah, that's insane.
So yeah, somewhere right.
Oh
around there.
man. Oh god. Yeah.
So I guess close. Well, I don't know. Maybe they're like 12-episode seasons. Or
Yeah, it's like 10 or 12. They're not a lot.
Yeah,
I know
so
the
I
new
guess maybe
season
it's
is a
like
lot.
9 or 8
Yeah.
or 9.
Oh man, you're in for it. I can't wait till you finish that and you get onto the. By the time you finish that, the new one will probably be almost over,
yeah.
and then you could just rip through that as well. Because it's so far that the new Daredevil. I know it's only 3 episodes in, but the 4th one comes out tonight. It's so good.
Nice.
And I just know that we have so many more to go. It's so great. I'm so happy about it. Yeah. Anything else?
No, that was it. I didn't really, I was watching that, and then I shifted to the other,
White Lotus.
the other program.
I love it. I
over
love
the
it.
Weekend.
Oh, that's great. All right. Well, do you got any music for us?
Yeah, just one pick this week is
Another one picker.
as usual, and it is Clipping with Dead Channel Sky. So that's the pick for this week.
All right. Well, we're very close to the start of the MLB season, so we'll see you guys next week to discuss all that good stuff. For now, enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend. We'll see you next
Hopefully
week.
We'll have some good things to talk about the Johnnies.
Yeah,
Enjoy the
let's
big
hope so.
dance.
That's right. Big weekend this weekend for the NCAA. All right, folks. We'll talk to you later.
Take care.